phase. What moon?
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. My name is Blake Cousins, and we're live for the radio show of the year. Maybe, maybe not. We're not sure, but you never know what's going to happen on live radio, Third Phase of Moon. And we're just taking stories from around the world. People want to report it right here because it's a new place to share your story without their ridicule from the public media or anybody else. If you've got information in regards to UFOs, you've been abducted by aliens, you've got great video, pictures, photographs, Third Phase of Moon is a place to report it. And, we're taking calls, and the number to call in right now, live, Third Phase of Moon, is 347-934-0378. And we're going to go to a person right now who goes by the name of Anonymous. And he says that there's some kind of, energy that these aliens put off, and some of it's not that great. And we're going to go into detail about it right now. Anonymous, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
Oh, hey, no problem. So last week we were talking about, alien abductions, and there's some other parts of the story that you wanted to go into about, these radiation blasts that these guys are giving out. Go into detail, Anonymous. Go into questions afterwards. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, well, I did a previous show regarding this, and I just wanted to come back because last time I did the interview with you, I was actually being microwaved during parts of the interview. So some of your listeners may have noticed that at parts I was a little bit at times I was cutting in and out because of what was happening to me during the course of the interview. So I felt the need to come back with some other information regarding it. And what's happening right now is very reminiscent of the attacks in the ancient history, in human ancient history. The Gnostics referred to them as archon attacks. And these beings were usually described as looking as either fetuses, i.e. The Greys, or as reptilians, which are currently being seen as well by abductees. And these beings were using these microwave attacks and using these advanced microwave alien technologies in the ancient history against portions of the human population. And they were using the same kinds of attacks. They were using voice-to-skull technologies, and they could also cause a searing, burning sensations all over the body, and also extreme head pains. So this is very, very, this goes way, way back, thousands of years before Christ and after. And, they've been...
Let me just stop you right there. I want you to continue. Sure. But what you're explaining right now just sounds like a high-tech military weapon, and this stuff has been around for thousands of years, and you're going into detail. Continue, please.
Sure. Well, what I'm getting at here is that I want to sort of put some of the speculation to rest regarding the source of these attacks. The government may well, and so may some organizations, have rudimentary forms of these technologies. But what these ETs are described as being able to do with these microwave attacks that are occurring right now are way beyond the abilities as that any government or private organization would have the capability to perform. And also, just like I said, these attacks were occurring thousands of years before Christ. These technologies didn't even exist then. So I'm just trying to say that if you think about that and use your common sense, it means that something old is something new again. And these ETs have been doing this to the human race since we were wandered out of the caves. They've been attacking us with these technologies. And I'd also like, targeted individuals who are being targeted with these microwave ELF waves, which stands for extremely low frequency, who are getting these bizarre auditory voice-to-skull attacks and searing, burning sensations over their body. Please look at the parallels between this and ET abductions if you're skeptical about the source, because both TIs and abductees get anomalous scars. They have they sometimes find implants in their body. They experience missing time, strange bruising, missing memories, implanted memories. There's a huge crossover. And I'd also ask people to please look up the person his name is Michael Mencken. I'll say that again, Michael Mencken. And he's been protecting children who have been targeted by these weapons, and he's been having to make protective gear for them as a result of these attacks. So please look up Michael Mencken. Yeah.
Anonymous, have you ever been attacked by these microwaves through alien or ET?
Yes, I have. As I described, as I mentioned in the previous time I spoke with you and did that interview, I've been attacked for 2 years by these ETs, and they've been attacking me.
Anonymous,
sure.
Can you tell us what it feels like and why you're being attacked and what you think the reasoning is behind it?
Well, what it feels like is like what I described. It's a combination of auditory versus voice-to-skull commands, which range from bizarre to sadistic. It usually happens when there's a background noise. So if there's like the shower's running or the TV's on, they can amplify whatever it is they're trying to command you to do, or whatever bizarre or strange, auditory commands they're trying to attack you with. They can amplify it. And it also feels like I'm being cooked or burned alive at times for maybe 3/4 of the day. And that's in combination with squeezing sensations and severe head pain. And these are all symptoms that TIs, targeted individuals, experience. But what people are failing to see is the crossover between this and the ET abduction phenomenon, because ETs are behind a lot of these attacks. And they've entered my room on a... Hello?
Yeah, we're here. Go ahead.
Yeah. They've entered my room on a regular basis at night, and it's usually 3 of them, and they're usually described as the Greys, or they're a hybrid, or they are reptilian, or it's a combination. And they're commanding me to end my life. They're telling me they don't like the course I'm taking in my life. They don't want people like myself here. They want people like myself removed within, I think they said, within a decade. They're carrying out this extermination of certain people that they don't want on the planet, and they're removing them right now. And of course, 99.9% of this is done in secrecy, so I don't see them when they're attacking me, obviously, with these microwaves. And most people who are being attacked have no idea what the source is.
Well, Anonymous, do you think you're saying they're telling you, trying to telepathically through these microwaves and these attacks and telepathic messages to basically take your own life. What's their worry about you? Are you going to be sometime in the future something relevant or detrimental to their objective?
Well, that's the excuse they're using. I mean, that's what they're saying. But the problem with these things is that these are aliens posing as demons. So and the thing is that they are as evil as demons, and they're notorious liars. So I don't know what I don't truly know ultimately. I don't know what the truth is. All I know is that they are trying to kill me.
That's it's interesting. We're getting chat right here, the flash chat. If anybody wants to chat in, you could come in and comment. But we're getting people coming in, and one of them, we're going to go to them right now. It's incredibly, maybe what's happening is the world is listening, because the new Vatican City News Network is listening right now. And welcome to Third Phase, Vatican City News Network. Also, the Lager Society, they said that maybe it's in your bloodline, and they're killing the bloodline. That's what some of the information is coming in right now.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. I heard that people of a mixture of Native American and or Celtic backgrounds are often attacked by ETs for whatever reason. Maybe because they have a history of defiance and strength in their history. A lot of cultures and countries do, but maybe that's why. But what I'm getting from these ETs, that, like I said, they're notorious liars, so nothing they say can be taken at face value. But it may be that they are coming back from the future and attempting to remove people that were a nuisance to them or a threatening to their agenda within a decade from now. That's the feeling I'm getting from this. So they are trying to remove certain people, and a lot of people being attacked are getting bizarre and sadistic voice-to-skull attacks from time to time, maybe a few times during the day, and they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea it's ET. What these ETs can do, they can download your memories, your personality type, and even your soul type, and they jumble that into a complex fear-based program, and then they attack you based on your fears. So people will come to believe that somebody's out to get them, when in fact these ETs are just screwing with your mind while cooking people and causing severe head pains in an attempt to get people to end their lives. So that's ultimately their agenda.
Wow, Anonymous. We appreciate you coming in on the radio show. So just stand by. We're going to get to some other callers right now.
Sure.
Calling in live, but we'd still like you to hang out and maybe comment in on some of the other people that are calling in. So, Anonymous, stand by, and thanks again. Let's go to 936 area code. Welcome to Third Phase. Tell us where you're calling from and what's your name. 936, you're live, Third Phase of Moon.
Oh, hi. Yes, my name is Nickman, and I've tried to contact you before. I live in Texas, and I have a couple of times, we live on the Lake Conroe, and a couple of times we have been out on the boat, and me and my brother and other people that live around the lake, we've seen, it's kind of like, it's like a half flight, not like a regular, like a regular airplane would be. It's just like a large hand looking.
Hello, 936, you still there? 936, call back. We want to hear that information coming in, but you just dropped out. Please call back, 936. Let's go back to Anonymous while the other callers call back in. We wanted to hear what was going on. But now, so you've been in contact and saw with your own eyes the aliens and the reptilians, correct?
Yes, I have. And in addition to an enormous metallic craft, as I described in my previous interview with you. I mean, these beings, I don't know what they were doing, but they obviously didn't care if anybody else saw them. So I get the feeling that they're becoming more reckless and they're becoming more bold, and they just don't. I think what's happening too is they're turning up the attack. They're turning up the heat right now, and they are being ferocious because they realize at some point the human race is going to be able to detect their microwave elf wave attacks on people, and they are terrified of this. So they are attempting to attack us big time right now because at some point this will be detected, and then when that happens, the game's over for them. I mean, because they're sadistic. They see this as a game. And when I'm attacked, they're frequently laughing. They have a sadistic sense of humor. I mean, this is evil on a scale that I can't put into words. Most people, they wouldn't even be able to comprehend just how evil they are. It's unbelievable.
I can imagine it could be, beyond our imagination. Of these guys have been around longer than the human race, so their ideas and their ways of thinking, I'm sure, goes to the extreme way of good and the extreme way of evil. So you're going to get both spectrums of both sides and of the thought process. And people are agreeing with you, Anonymous. You got the New Vatican City News Network. They're saying indeed of what you're saying. And the Lager Society also says that this is raw news right now, and maybe some of these dropouts could be caused by the NSA. We're not exactly sure, but we know what's going on, that we are being monitored 24/7, and there's really nothing we can do about it. But in the meanwhile, we'll keep doing what we're doing right here at Third Phase, trying to get this raw information out to the world. Stand by, Anonymous. We're going to go to some callers that are calling in. Area code 864, welcome to Third Phase of Moon. Tell us where you're calling from and what's your name and what report do you want to give us right here?
Hello?
906, you're live. Third Phase of Moon. This is Blake Cousins. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. We've been talking to Anonymous. He's been explaining to us about, the bad agenda of the ET, these attacks that they're doing on individuals around the planet. Do you have anything to add on that, or do you have a story you want to share? You got a UFO video you want to
yeah, I'm from a place called Rudyard, Michigan. It's a very small town up in the UP, about 5 minutes from the Canadian border.
Sure.
We have we have a small stretch of roads called M28. Walking down there a few days ago. It's quite cold out here at the time. It's probably a good 6-8 feet of snow. We were driving, all of a sudden the car shut down, and we decided to walk. And as we were looking up, we saw a huge bright light, and it seemed to get closer, and none of us could move. We didn't know really what to do. And as we looked up, it came down close enough to where it was probably good 15, 20 feet and hovered right atop of us for a good 10 seconds. And then
wow. Let me ask you before you go any further, because you just explained, when most people see a UFO for the first time, they go into this state of, shock and awe and enlightenment, or they're just basically, we're thinking that they're putting out an energy, just like Anonymous is saying, and it pretty much stuns you and puts you in a state of thought that you really can't react to it. Is this correct?
I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what it was, or if it was there to, harm me or anything like that. I just kind of stood there and let it happen.
Yeah, that's basically, because if you're, you see something like this, and you're scared, your first instincts are to run. But in this case, most people don't run. They're just standing there and basically sitting ducks or deer in the headlights. And, what pretty much I think this is a natural phenomenon that happens with this close encounter. Your close encounter even goes further, if I'm not mistaken. It's the second encounter of the third kind where you see the metallic.
It was literally almost, I want to say 50 feet right above our head, and I could feel the hair on my body stand. Like I felt like I was in this kind of aura kind of thing, and it hovered up above us for probably a good 15, 20 seconds, and then no one said anything. We didn't talk to each other. We didn't move. We did nothing. And as soon as my friend Jeffrey decided to speak up, and he said, "What is that?" It pushed us. It pushed right to the ground. It flattened us, and it was gone.
Let me ask this. Was it, what shape was it? And obviously it wasn't making any noise of any kind. Did you see any kind of energy?
Yeah, it was a triangle shape. And it had
black?
three
was
lights.
It metallic?
It was very metallic, very chromish almost, but it didn't have I don't want to say a mirrored image, because you couldn't see yourself or anything below it, but it was almost like you could see through it.
So as soon as your friend mentioned, do you see that it basically took off? And
we felt like a huge pressure, and it pushed us over, and it blew where we were standing. It blew all the snow around us, almost completely gone. It almost melted the snow, and it pushed us down to the ground, and it just took off. It was gone. As soon as you could blink our eyes, it disappeared.
Wow, this is a very vivid story that you're explaining, and I'm sure other people around the world have had the same experience, because, individually picking you out in the middle of a snowfield and your friends, why would they just do it to one person? The stories are true. What people are explaining right here isn't crazy at all. This is reality. People get used to it. Shit's hitting the fan, I'll say it right now, because...
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you're saying this, hey, we get it all the time. And this is a place to report it, because we are sharing this information. Let me ask you, again, because I want to get down to this moment in time. In your split second after it took off, what was your initial thoughts? Was it military or was it ET?
I don't know. We have an old Army base around here, but that's about it. The closest military base we have around is out of state. We don't have any military at all around.
Yeah, the TR-3B is a reverse-engineered aircraft designed by the military, but taken from alien technology. It could be this, or it could be its own entity of its own origin from another part of the universe. But what was your friend Jeff correct? Do you guys talk about this experience now after the fact, and have you told
Absolutely.
your family?
I share it with everybody, and they
nice.
kind of they
what
look at me. They talk.
Do people believe it? I believe it.
Oh, some of my friends believe it, and some people look at me like I'm crazy.
But they've known you all your life, right? But now they just don't want to take your word for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And none of us wanted to move. Like I wanted to reach for my phone. I wanted to videotape it. I wanted to do something, but I couldn't move. I didn't. It wasn't that my mind didn't let me move. It was almost like I couldn't move.
Well, you stand by. We got Anonymous. He's called in earlier. I'm sure he has some things to say about this incredible story that you shared. Anonymous, are you still with us? And any insight about this story? Have you had any similar sightings of this triangular-shaped aircraft? What do you think of the whole situation of this, stunned action when you're in the realm of a UFO? Go ahead, Anonymous.
Well, the one I saw was shaped more like a wedding cake. I think those are fairly the sightings of the wedding cake-shaped craft are pretty common. That's the one I saw. But in terms of what he's talking about, the paralysis, it sounded like he was a little bit fearful as well. In most cases, the person who sees the craft is usually pretty scared. But that goes back to what I was speaking of before, that these most of these ETs are primarily parasites. They feed off of negative vibrations. So, they're energy parasites. So when a person's in a state, any kind of negative state or negative vibration of fear, hate, anger, despair, anything like that, they feed off of that, and they feed off the human bioelectric field. And they do the same things. This is, when you see a craft and you're afraid, that's sort of the same sort of agenda they have, but not quite as intense as when the victim is taken aboard a craft and they conduct bizarre scientific experiments on them, because that's not scientific curiosity. They don't, they don't remove eyeballs and take body parts off and reattach them out of scientific curiosity. I mean, nobody needs to be awake while that's occurring. They do this to terrify the victim because they're literally energy parasites, and they feed off of the person while this is occurring. So when someone sees a craft and they're somewhat paralyzed, or they are paralyzed, or they're fearful, this is just a less intense version of that. So they're probably feeding off the person while doing that.
It's interesting that you say that they basically, when you go into the hospital, they'll put anesthesia, and then you're knocked out, and they proceed with the procedure of
right.
removal or whatever they do. But in this case, with the aliens and the abductions phenomenon, it's quite the opposite. They're not into taking you out and not experiencing this procedure without being unconscious. They want you to be fully aware of what's going on. And it almost sounds like a tactics that would be used by, the CIA or Al-Qaeda, that some of these strange torture.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to say anything about it because it's kind of embarrassing, but I pissed my pants. Like, I was terrified. But at the same time, I was so interested, and I don't even know how to explain it. I almost want to say that if they wanted to take me, I would have almost let them take me, not just for the experience, but just to let it happen.
Anonymous, do you think there's what's their idea? The sadistic, it's evil, it sounds like. There's a lot of people that claim that these aliens are...
Well, they're very...
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're very clever, aren't they? Because they mix what could be perceived or sensed in a person as joy or the exhilaration of seeing something they've never seen before, mixed with their actual intention, which is to cause intense terror and fear. So they mix it with that. in an attempt to misdirect the person as to their true intentions, which is to cause total terror and fear and feed off the person. Because these beings are literally, like I said, they're parasites. They've done this for thousands of years. I'd ask anybody listening to this, please look up John Lash or Robert Stanley on the internet, because both these people are, real heroes, and they're really telling it like it is. So I'd ask them to look it up. So, yeah, they're very clever. And the other thing they're doing right now is they're playing chicken with airplanes. I'm sure you've seen a lot of these reports of pilots seeing UFOs in front of their airplanes, and they're having to either redirect the course of their flight, or they're reporting this, or they go into panic as a result of what they're seeing, and then the UFO flashes out of sight. They're doing this, again, because they're energy terror parasites. They're doing that on purpose to terrify people. And they're attacking everybody, right? Oh, not everybody. They're attacking huge portions of the population en masse, because humanity at some point will detect this, and they don't want that. That's why they're attacking with ferocity.
And to add to what you were saying, too, is it was very exciting when we first noticed it, and as it got closer and closer and closer, I got more terrified and scared, and that's exactly how you were explaining it. I was really, really excited to see it, because it's not the first time I've seen a UFO, and because this is the first time I've ever seen one close enough, and very close enough. And as it got closer and closer, I got so terrified.
Well, this radio show, we're running out of time, but it's been a great show. The information that's come through, the best screenwriters in Hollywood couldn't write this up. In real life, real people are the true stories of what makes for a great story. And I think what we just heard tonight, people's imaginations will run rampant if they were in your situation. And some of these stories, some people wish they could have an alien encounter, and maybe it's not the best experience. Anonymous, any last words here?
Yeah, well, right now the single greatest threat that these ETs represent, like I said, are the microwave, ELF wave attacks, which are basically undetectable for the most part, and most people who are being attacked have no idea what the source is. They feel like they're being burned alive. They're getting bizarre auditory voice-to-skull commands. The objective is to drive people to suicide, and I would ask that anybody who's listening to this interview, if you can please report, if you're having similar attacks, please report it on the YouTube page of this video and describe what's happening to you. And can I ask, the host, if you're possible, can you give this a YouTube video a similar title to the previous one and ask people to report their attacks, their microwave attacks? Yeah,
we will do a headline and call it microwave attacks. We're not exactly sure, but we'll bring in the microwave situation.
Sure. And they can ask people to report their if they either know it's ET in origin or they believe it is or suspect, if they can report it.
Everybody listening right now on YouTube, Third Phase of Moon, you heard the questions Anonymous asked. Please feel free to comment below, and I'm sure Anonymous will be watching the video right now and respond to your questions or answers to what's going on with Anonymous. Anonymous?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. I'll pay attention to the YouTube video, and I'd like to, if I'm able to, feel well enough, I'd like to join again on a show in the future.
Absolutely, the information you have is very important to get out, and I know that you have a lot of insight on the agenda. It's with the encounters you've had with the aliens and what's going on. Anonymous, you stay safe and you keep in touch. We'll love to have you back on Third Phase of Moon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, 906 explained to us this incredible, earlier in the show, about this triangle metallic-shaped object that came in so close, 20 feet above him and his friends' heads, and the melt of the snow pushed it all aside and just took off. Something out of this world, but in reality, It is happening. This isn't fantasy. Any last words, 906?
Just want to say if anybody else out there has had the same experience or anything close to that, like Anonymous said, please report, because 2014 is the year to bring it all out. I don't know why, and they're starting to slowly leak, and I think it's because of such negative reactions that the public is getting toward it. But I believe that 2014 is going to be the year that we find out.
Absolutely. 2014, I have a feeling, will be the year for disclosure. With all the information that comes in, it's coming in faster than ever. The world is listening. The governments are reacting. The world will be changed by 2014, and I hope for a better place for the word to get out. One last word, I just wanted to give everybody a reminder. This Sunday, Park Plaza Hotel, the MacArthur Park. Be there for the summoning event. With Robert Bingham, we'll be doing another UFO big-time calling down for the people and the masses. Bring your cameras, skeptics, debunkers, Blue Oyster, and also the Blue Oyster Cult is giving us a shout-out at their concert tonight in L.A., and Robert Bingham says he's going to summon UFOs right over the Blue Oyster Cult. We're going to keep everybody updated for that event. But remember, this Sunday, UFOs over Park Plaza Hotel, MacArthur Park, starts at 10:30 in the morning. Be there. And if you capture anything amazing, you could send it to Third Phase of Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see everybody again next time.